It's 2022, y'all. So you know I had to come with something new. It might have took me a minute, but I think y'all gonna like this one right here. What's your purpose? Have you found that yet? Do you know who you are, or are you trying to forget where you're from, what you did, who you wrong, what you lost? On the move to have more, trying hard to be a boss. Just remember it's okay to mess up. Try again, change the plan, just don't get complacent. Which means, just don't get stuck. Stuck in the mutter, like I say, stuck in a rut. It may take time, it's okay if you're lost. If you're unsure and you don't wanna be a boss. But until then, just watch me. We'll discuss different things and we can all have a key. Hey, I encourage you every day. And I'm empowering y'all to have your say. Hey, education is the key for every show. So join me Saturday and see where we can go. It's she who found her purpose. Hey, and she's doing you a service. Giving game away for free. And giving y'all a platform just so you can speak. Hey, it's she who found her purpose. And she's doing you a service. Giving game away for free. And giving y'all a platform just so you can speak. Hey, okay. Hey, okay. Good morning. Happy Sabbath. Assalamu alaikum. All that. I want to welcome you guys back to another amazing episode of She Who Found Her Purpose. Y'all know I'm always excited when I come before you on a Saturday morning. I probably got too much energy, but y'all know what it is. I'm trying to make sure I keep you guys pumped up. I stay pumped up. We bring all that positive energy so we can start our day off right. So before I do anything, you know I have to go over all my disclaimers. We got to make sure that we are being very aware of how we're affecting people. So even though I am a Black woman, the view that I have is not the perspective of all Black women. So I don't want anyone to feel that just because what I'm saying or bringing to the table that every Black woman feels that way, or that every Black woman opinion is the same as mine. Okay, so I want to make that clear in the beginning. Anything that we talk about here, we're not intending to offend anyone. That's definitely not what we want to do. We want to make sure that everyone has a voice as long as it's respectful and that we all have our input. This is for educational reasons. This is also for entertainment reasons. You know, we want to have a laugh while we up here, but we want to make sure that we're also learning and that we're loving on one another while we're doing so. So in order to be able to do that, you know, I got to put my stuff up here. If you are struggling or if somebody else is struggling with any issues in regards to suicide, if you are thinking about committing suicide, if this is something that you have struggled with in the past, we want to make sure that you have the number to reach the suicide helpline at 800-273-8255. Once again, that number is 800-273-8255. If you guys are having any type of feelings, these people are going to be able to listen to you. They're there 24 hours a day. So don't be afraid to call them. You can call them, sit on the phone with them for 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever you need, they're going to give it to you. So make sure that you utilize this number if you need it. And if you're not on here right now, as you guys always know, you can go back later and get this number, because you can go to She Who Found Her Purpose on YouTube or Facebook, and this will all be on that saved post. So y'all, suicide helpline. If you need it, it's here. The next number is the Los Angeles Department of Mental Health. If you're stressed out, if you're anxious, if you're frustrated, if you just need some type of support, this is the number for you. 800-854-7771. Reach out to these individuals. They can direct you in the right place, regardless of what it is you need, whether it be social services, if you need something for your children, whatever it is, this is the number for you. So I want to make sure that you guys have that number. As you guys also know, I have a following in the Kern County area. So I want to make sure that you guys are also educated. It's not just for, the Los Angeles area. And all of these numbers are 800 numbers anyway. So if you call any of these numbers, they'll direct you to the department you need to be directed to. Those numbers are 800-991-5272, and not those numbers. The Kern Behavioral Health and Recovery Service number is 800-991-5272. So if you're in the Kern County area and you're struggling with any type of mental health issues, if you're anxious, if you're depressed, if you're having issues transitioning back into the community because you've just gotten out, if you're a part of the LGBTQ community and you need that additional support, any of these numbers you can reach out to. Finally, I have some other numbers I'm going to do at the end, but you always know I have to throw in the Ahmad Institute. That's my current employer, so I have to make sure that you guys have that information. Go to the Ahmad Institute, www.ahmad.org. We have a plethora of services as well. Our foundation is the LGBTQ community. So definitely, if you're a part of this community, I want you to come. If you're a minority, I want you to come. If you are a part of a underserved population, this is where you need to be. Go to this website. We have a lot of different resources, whether it be housing, substance use issues, if you are struggling with any type of mental health issues, if you need support as far as groups, we have everything. So definitely go to any of these pages, any of these phone numbers, and reach out because there is help. Woo! Okay, y'all. That was a mouthful. Oh, okay. Before I bring our guest on, let me breathe. Let me breathe. I'm hitting too many buttons and I had too much to say. Okay. Let me clear my throat. My next guest. Who I love her. This woman is beautiful. Okay. I say that because she's beautiful inside and out. She is an individual that I have spoken with on many occasions about different things that I trust in a lot of different ways, and that has educated me in a lot of different areas. I always tell you guys that I like to highlight the individuals in the community that may not get the recognition that they deserve, or that may be like the person next door. But today I'm going to switch that a little bit because I think this amazing woman, is already like going leaps and bounds to make a name for herself. So she's not just the person next door. She is somebody that is a star. She's a star in my eyes. I'm sure she's a star in a lot of other people's eyes too, but she is already a star. So actually, I guess she's my first star. So, okay, this is our first star to grace. She who found her purpose. I know she back there laughing and stuff, but I'm serious. This our first superstar. She is a singer, songwriter, and a community cultivator, y'all. Okay. I'm bringing on Never Ending Nina. She gonna maybe she'll grace us with a little bit of her beautiful voice or something. We're gonna bring her on. Hey, beautiful.
Hey, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I'm honored to be in the space. I want to have a addendum. Yes, I am a superstar.
You
but
are.
It always starts with the source, which is the one creating the whole space. Oh. So I always like to make sure, yes, a doll is going to doll, but you're going to shine just as well because you invited me into this space and you're creating such a beautiful platform to showcase community in this space. So hats off to you, as I always give it to you. This is a wonderful platform that is just going to grow leaps and bounds. I can already see that.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
I always tell people, as long as I touch one person, that's all I want. So I'm not looking for the growth. It's quality over quantity. But I'm gonna welcome any type of growth that comes along with it. I'm not look, I'm welcoming it. So yeah.
Here we are.
Exactly. So we know that the title today is Trans Life, Trans Love, and Trans Leadership. And as I shared with you, I feel like you embody all of those things. Now, I feel the love from you, but we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Like your love and, your love life, if you want to share a little bit about that.
Come on now.
But as far as just, I know a lot has happened during the pandemic, so 2020, from 2019 all the way till now, honestly. So first, let's start with just trans life. Yes. What has that brought you?
Oof. Oof. So it's a continuation. It is an ongoing experience in a way that, of course, it's universal, but at the same time, I share a uniqueness because it is my journey. And so, like, one thing I do know about being a Black trans woman is that we have to adapt quickly. Yes. And so that was the process of like, in the beginning of the pandemic, I'm like, I finally get to maybe slow down and sit. Yes. And I think universally, we all had to experience that from the Black experience. Because that's totally different. Because you know that we have always had to be or have a one-up or have a hustle or the list goes on. And it's like, no, you finally have to sit with yourself, be it one day, be it 2 days, be it 2 weeks, be it 2 months, be it 2 years, that you finally had to sit down with yourself to be like, well, what am I outside of what I do? Yes. What am I outside of my family? Who am I outside of my social structures? And so this is those pandemic years, and we're still in it. It's like I've become more keen to my own existence outside of everything.
Oh, okay. How has that? Yeah, I'm like, okay, so give me a little bit more of that. How what does that look like for you?
So it's always, and not in a, I'm not gonna say good or bad way, but not in a I'm just gonna keep it centering myself in everything that is in alignment and that is in God's grace for me. And so with that comes a certain peace. Yes. With that comes a certain release of like, whatever I want to do is already in alignment, because this my temple of where I go to every day to make sure God, universe, all, whatever people, believe in is like, but for me, I've been in a superior being other than me, to guide me in this life process. Right. And so in order for me to make the decisions and move how I move, it has to be in alignment. And so during that pandemic time and during that beginning time, that's when I really started to focus on, what I registered is that I was already on that path. That's when I really registered that I was already on that path, but now it's more focused.
So do you think that your purpose was more amplified then, and then that led you to become more intentional?
It made me see, once again, that I was already on the path, but I need to focus, put more of my energy into the direct things that I know I wanted to do. Because the great thing about having a lot of gifts is that I won't say scatterbrain, but because you can be used in so many areas. Yes. You like that octopus, but
like they say, a jack of all trades, but an expert of none. That's the same. I have spoken about that because I feel like, because of my experiences, I'm exactly that. I'm a jack of all trades. I can do a million things. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm an expert of none, though, because I've learned on how to hone in on the things that I need to be an expert at. But once again, that doesn't mean that I'm not able to change a tire, or I'm not able to do all these other things that some people may not be able to do that look like me, or that hold the same position as me, or whatever it is they're looking at. Good morning, Sharon. I seen we were Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. So if you feel, speaking, she is speaking it, girl. She is speaking it.
That's what I come to do, baby.
Yes.
One thing we have is our authenticity and our truth to our lived experience and our existence.
Yes.
And that's a universal. And that's also a thing, sis, is that when we had that quiet time, not saying that it happened for everybody at that moment,
yes,
but your voice, your inner spirit, your inner whatever should have enhanced during that time because you had time to sit with yourself. Yes, it was uncomfortable. Yes, we was like, oh my God, what we gonna do? What am I gonna do about these bills? What am I gonna do about this gas? What am I gonna do about this? Oh Lord, I gotta sit with my family every day, all day. That was my escape.
Ooh, these kids, look, they ain't going to school. I gotta teach them.
I gotta cook. I gotta. And it's like, whoa, slow down. Do one thing at a time. That starts with how I feel for myself in doing all those things. And if I should continue doing those things, how does it make me feel? And so that's the beauty of going through that process of saying, well, no, let me self-assess. Let me see where I'm at within myself to see what adds up, to see what I keep, and to see what I say is not mine anymore.
That's important. Those boundaries, making sure that you know your capacity.
To take on those things.
Yes, because you can't pour from an empty cup.
Woo.
And I didn't heard that so much that's one of my philosophies at this point, and it's true. You can't pour from an empty cup.
And that's why when I always not assess, but have these type of conversations with my friends, with my peers, with my community, I always make sure I'm looking at them first.
Yes.
Before you tell me what you doing with everybody and their mama and how you helping this.
Woo, yeah.
How you help?
Look, what you doing for yourself? No, for real. I hear you.
So if you could tell me that, and that sound not in the space of judgment, if that sound like, oh yeah, they got a good parameter of how they access themselves, what they give to others, what they give to themselves first and foremost, then that lets me know, oh, they have a healthy balance and they can understand the job, what it entails when trying to be amongst community and family and friends and social structures and jobs and career, all those type of things, because it all centers coming from you.
Right. That is true. Speak it. Look, that's what you're here for. So I would like, if you feel comfortable, you know, there may be individuals that, okay, we do have a question, Sharon. Okay, this is my question. Did the pandemic show you who was really with you, or your journey on your journey or life's path?
That's what you want to do this morning.
Okay, Sharon. Okay.
Open it up. I love this type of stuff because that's the thing about us. We're so powerful and special as a community that we need to have these type of conversations because sometimes we feel as though we are alone. And
she laughed. She said,
"Yeah," because she knows she's telling the truth, right?
Exactly.
What I do know is that for some, and as a Black trans woman, I'm not a monolith. The experience is not the same for everybody, but I can only speak. I make I statements, which means it's coming directly from me. Yeah. I've always been aligned to my purpose. This space and time enhance that alignment to let me know, be about the business. Whatever you do, it needs to be centered around your performance, centered around what you do in your community, centered around your creativity, centered around all your God-given gifts to enhance where you know you are going because you didn't put in the work and continually put in the work. And so the people that supposed to be with you are supposed to be with you. And so I can honestly say that circle was already small because I don't play no games when it comes to my space and protecting that. And maybe that's a trauma response.
It is.
Yes, you know. But we all have, Look. And so that teaches me to know that I have to be the main person driving this thing. Yes. And so I might have passengers going up 105 or down. We might be going to PCH and I drop them off in Venice and, using that like that. But I'm going to always be the one driving that car.
Right.
And so I have to know and make sure that I feel good about the process, everything that I'm doing, everything that I be connected to. And so that's the journey that brought me during the pandemic of seeing, oh, well, this person not my friend, it just might be an associate. Right. Oh, well, I can't tell this person what contracts I just signed because they might feel a certain type of way. And it's about compartmentalizing and knowing what to give.
Happy that you said that, because I was going to double back a little bit, first of all, to the trauma response.
Come on now.
Also with you compartmentalizing, because I think we do that a lot, especially once again with trauma. So first of all, to the trauma response, I think a lot of us have that. So a lot of us say, we keeping our circles small, especially as you get older and you have been subjected to so many traumas, whether that be a childhood trauma, or this my best friend and we was riding for years and I thought you was my dog. And then we got to 35 and you did something and it didn't traumatize me again. Because now I'm like, okay, who can I trust type trauma? So there are levels to trauma, first of all. I want to point that out. There's big T trauma and little T trauma. But I'm not, I'm here to preach a little bit, but I'm not here to preach a lot, because y'all can hit me up, in my inbox to get a little more information. But it's important that you know your trauma and how you are triggered. I'm bringing that up because sometimes we may do things, if we're not aware, that are not beneficial to us because we are still walking in our trauma, if that makes sense. Just be aware of your trauma. It's okay to be cautious. It's okay to set those boundaries and to compartmentalize and make sure you have these parameters up, but make sure you're doing it in the right way. Because when we're in the beginning of our trauma, we're usually on a certain end of the spectrum where we're hypersensitive to certain things. And then we go to the other end where we're desensitized. Then we find that middle ground where we know how to balance the two, I think. Because I have been in those stages, and I think I'm now learning how to balance is where I'm at from, me, myself.
Yeah. And that's a part of, like you said, as you get older, you have the lived experience to know, oh, I'd have been on that path before. But also in that, you still I still allow myself to be open to encounter
new things. You have to. Yes, you have to. That's just like learning something. They say if you feel like you know everything,
why are you here?
Exactly. Like you know everything already. Then that means you should have all the money, the cars. I shouldn't even see you. You shouldn't even be working with me. You shouldn't be walking by me because you know everything. So never feel like you know everything or that you can't learn something new. We can learn something new every day.
Every day. Every day on this earth, you feel you can come into that newness. Yes. Every day.
So I would like to, and I know I kind of was leading into this because, I feel like I get a lot of questions, and you can share as much or as little as you would like to. But for some individuals, they really don't understand a trans woman or a trans man, or just they don't even know what it is.
Okay.
So would you care to explain or share who you are? Maybe that's just how you identify.
So the great thing about like where we're at in this world in 2022 is that thankfully the devices that we have in the privacy of our home, laptops, smartphones, computers, TV, consoles, PlayStations.
Yes.
The great thing about that is that is where you can, in the comforts of your privacy, access information,
Yes.
I always lead with, is it intentional?
Okay.
Do I want to learn about this thing that I don't know about? Because if it's something that, and see, this is let me shake the table. This is the thing to where if I'm into fashion, I want to know the latest fashion trends.
Right.
So that means I'm going to go access and type in what are the latest fashion trends, because it's the intent.
Yes.
I want to know.
Right.
Most of the time, people don't really care about trans identity until it's right there in their face. And then they expect that the person who has that lived experience to say, hey, give me all that you need to get that I need to understand in 3.5 seconds. And do it in layman's terms so that it won't take up my whole day. And so
what you're saying.
This is the space where I challenge, not, in a bad way, but it's like, no, I can give you some tidbits, but it's always the intent that if you set out 10, 15, 20 minutes of your week, it don't have to, it's set however you want to set. But if you could type in, what is a transgender person's life? How do they identify?
Right. But I gotta play devil's advocate.
We don't do no devil's advocate.
Look.
We don't do no devil's advocate.
But then let me shake the table a little.
Shake the table then.
Okay, let me shake the table. Okay, so I know that for some, they may look at it as taboo. And so I think like for some individuals, they may feel like maybe it's not right to go, just like porn, like some people it's taboo and they don't want to Google, or they don't, different things come up, or, so I love what you said, I love what you said because it's true. Honestly, it's the truth. But there are still a lot of people that just, and they may genuinely want to know, but maybe they're scared, or maybe they're just.
So before they need to know that,
ignorant.
They need
maybe
to
ignorant in that in a different way, and I don't mean ignorant as in stupid ignorant, but just don't know.
So I think even before they interact with that information, they have to first sit with the bias of why do they feel that way.
Okay, all right.
If you're just retaining information.
No, I hear you.
I know you go here. You know what we do now.
We push it back.
It's the why do I feel this way about getting information that possibly might not even affect me, but I know it affects you because any time you retain information or get information, it's to build you a better version of yourself.
Yes.
And so then you have to go through the process of the training and the indoctrination of why this information or this being makes you feel this type of way trying to get this information. So even in the space of, and I understood what you were saying, but saying or having trans identity with porn as taboo, even stating that reduces it.
Exactly.
Reduces it to say, wait, I get what you're saying because it is, for some it is taboo, but we also know the connotations of we also know the connotations of how people view porn, but we actually know that everybody watch porn.
Everybody
watch. A whole nother thing.
That's why I'm like, but of course some people still feel, okay, it's not appropriate to watch porn, or it's not appropriate, and hopefully I'm not going to pleasure yourself, or different things, when obviously it's normal.
Yeah, so bringing it back to understanding a certain population, getting information that possibly might not even affect anything about who I am is one thing. But sitting with your bias of what is stopping me from understanding this, that's a whole nother thing that some people don't have the space to equate or fully understand. Because because I'm here. And we're gonna have this type of conversation. But it's also the fact that once again, knowing your foundation of who you are and not being wavered or shaken and being in that space. Because I could learn some information about Nazis, but that don't make me a Nazi.
Right, Yes.
Because I'm comfortable in who I am and understanding. I'm just getting information about this population that possibly affected,
Right.
countless people's lives. And we want to understand our history, which goes into another thing about
Yes, it does.
understanding our truths, uncomfortable or comfortable, understanding them so you can go and be better agents in this world.
Right. Sharon says, as organic organisms, we should always be learning and growing. You right.
Ding,
Definitely.
ding, 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 ding.
That's why we have this show. That's why I have this platform, so we can have these conversations. You
Yes.
guys can give your input so we can, talk to individuals that have lived experience, but
Yes.
also that want to educate you guys.
Yes.
So
And
that
so with trans identity is just basically talking about gender identity. And so we want to make sure that so basically when you were born, you not even identify because you didn't identify nothing. You were just born as a child. And so that speaks to the levels of the indoctrination of gender norms that you were already assigned. So basically, I was assigned at birth male. And so in my transition, in my understanding of myself, I recognize and realize that that's not going to be my life. And I knew that made me uncomfortable. And so with transgender, that means you're transitioning gender identity.
Yes.
That's gender identity, how you see me, how I see myself. So my pronouns are she, her. My name is never ending Nina. I go by all those things and those titles because I am a proud Black transgender woman. So some people can get it in the scientific terms, but then in layman's terms is that I was assigned male at birth, but I live my life. I know my truth to be a powerful Black trans woman.
Yeah.
So that's the journey of understanding. That's the journey of understanding what, in layman's term, a transgender person, transgender woman, transgender man, what that in layman's terms identifies as.
Thank you so much for that. Even though you
You're
did not
welcome.
have to do that, I know a lot of people appreciate it, and that will probably lead some individuals to want to learn more.
Yes.
Because we hear a lot of negative things, obviously, within the media. And if you don't know, you can't grow. Okay. And I say that a lot. Sharon said, that gave me chills. I love it. Yes. Because sometimes I think that society has kind of stunted us in those areas.
Mm-hmm.
And so some people, once again, are afraid. And so that's why, they're just scared of the unknown. And so when you are in the trenches, like I like to say, and I feel like I'm always in the trenches, and I share often that it's because of my personal experiences. I am an ally because I can relate in a lot of different ways. I don't look at people as we all have to be male or female. I look at the individual, I look at our experiences, and that's how I relate to someone. And so for me, it's important that I always highlight things that I don't feel people highlight. And we don't highlight a lot of things, especially in the cisgender. In the cis community, we don't have shows like this.
No.
There are just it's just going to be about the basic heterosexual.
Because some people believe that some cisgender, which means cisgender, is that basically what you were assigned at birth matches how you identify. So that's the difference between cisgender and transgender, in layman's terms. But in that aspect is that for everyone's life, heteronormalcy, heterosexual, hetero identity has always been the center. So there was no need for me to focus on anything else outside of me. And then when it comes to me, I have this certain privilege to say, oh, well, teach me.
Right.
And because I don't know this, and it's like, well, wait a minute, just because you don't, because sometimes, and so sometimes in that space, it's a certain level of arrogance sometimes for some cis people, cis hetero people who take it upon themselves to be like, well, since I'm here, show me and teach me. But it's like, are you really going to retain this? Or do you really care? Do all those things that come into play that sometimes the community outside of them be like, well, child, I'm not going to even worry about that. I'm going to keep doing the stuff I need to do in my community because I know I'm working towards the bigger goal of being in communion with everybody. And so I think that's all. I always center the intention of like, do you really want to learn about this? Because it's in your family, it's in your social structures, it's in, you might not see it because they've never opened your blinders wide enough.
Yes, that tunnel vision has been there because you don't want to see
it. For some, because some know that, and I always say this, even in my lived experience, is that for some in my family, if they would then see me, they would then have to open themselves up even more to see how they lived, or how their parents lived, or how their grandparents lived, or and some have made a decision to say, oh, I can't do that. I'm too old. I'm, I done got too comfortable. I don't know about all this. I still love you, my family member, but I might not mess with you. And that's fine. But long as you don't give disrespect, long as you don't put me in different uncomfortable situations, long as you handle your business, long as you center love and respect around me, we could be cordial all day and night. But it comes to play when that disrespect comes, to where you think you have entitlement to reduce me and my lived existence, but just because you say I don't have ovaries, or I can't produce children, or you trying to be like me. No. I'm trying to be like myself. I stated that I am a transgender woman. I'm not trying to replace cis women. I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just trying to live my life.
And that, I had to woo because and that is a thing, I mean, I have seen, well, let me say on both sides, because I'm a very observant person. I have seen cisgender women be in competition with transgender women, but I've also seen transgender women try to be, or not try, they're in competition with cisgender women. But I also believe, once again, how we talk about trauma, it comes from trauma and their previous experiences. And when we have more negative than positive that has happened, it is difficult to switch over. And so once again, for me, I try very hard to put myself in other people's shoes. So I'm not judgmental in the beginning, because once again, I've been judged.
Right.
And so with me, once again, putting myself in that situation, I'm like, okay, it's something probably a little more going on. So I'm gonna just step back, or
always
I said something wrong. I'm quick to say, did I correct me if I'm wrong? Did I do something? Because also, excuse me, you guys, with verbiage these days, we had that conversation. I know when we was texting, and I'm country, so I always say y'all. I say guys, just because, that's just my verbiage. But I'm now learning to be very cognizant of that
and reprogram.
Yes, and I have to. Excuse me. But we were talking about how if I'm not doing it every day, I have to be even more mindful, because I need to make sure that what I'm doing is intentional. I do want to be intentional
and inclusive.
Yes, I hate when they say that word, because I don't know if we'll ever just be inclusive.
Well, the path of inclusivity.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
It's always a journey. It's always and in that context, it's just saying equally yoked, and not to say that you want the same power, not to say that you want the same position, but just saying that I see you and you see me.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. That's where we can start from. And if that isn't, because I'm telling you, there's something unifying in language that it doesn't exclude anyone. So if it starts with, hey, everybody, hey, y'all, because I'm country.
Yeah, that's why now I'm doing y'all instead of guys. So that's what I was trying to say, because I would always say guys, but that's offensive. So I need to, and even for me, I guess I never thought about it, but for women's right, we fought to be viewed as women, but when people told us, hey, you guys, we didn't even, think about that. So even to go that deep.
That because we've been taught to be silenced.
Yes.
To not bring it up, to not call a spade, to do all those things just to make it through our 9 to 5, just to make it through our careers, just to make it through our relationships, just to make it through our communal settings, just to make it trying to pump gas. Just it's all these things and spaces that it's and that's why I say a lot of times it's like I'm busy working on me. I have no time to be in somebody else's mess. Yes. Because I'm a whole project within myself. And so if us as Black people, if us as human beings really take the time to say, I need to get to the work of me, you're not going to have time to be worried about what Miss Mary did at the 7-Eleven when you wasn't there. Because that don't have nothing to do with me, because I'm so busy doing my internal work, so that when I show up in every space, no one can dilute me because I done the work.
Yeah. Oh, Sharon said, question girl again. What are your experiences with inclusion in the workplace, if you don't mind?
So inclusion, come on. Yeah, you can have her on the show.
Yeah,
look. Inclusion once again starts from yourself. What have you checked in with your internal biases? If you have them, because everybody have them, but knowing how to, respectfully put them on a shelf or put them in a space that doesn't affect your working process, because everybody is different. Everybody don't have your same God. Everybody don't eat the same things you eat. Everybody don't have the same vernacular or language that you have, or education. Everybody don't choose to have that. But does that affect how you show up with them respectfully? So in the workplace, I always make sure anytime I check in and go into that workplace, I want to make sure that my biases, want to make sure that I'm in the line, want to make sure my respect level is there, so that anytime I encounter anyone, I'm not holding nothing against them in our encounter. But believe me, if I have seen you, I know how to interact with you. That's just off jump, because I'm a type of person like, baby, I didn't come too far in life to understand myself, to know how I interact with certain people. And there are some people that don't have the energy and the light that I have. That's their own journey, no judgment. But I know how much I can take in my day. And then, if I have to be around those individuals, and how it won't affect my work performance. Because my main goal is to make sure that I show up for myself, that I show up for my job description, that I show up for my career, to show up for the thing that I said I was going to be able to do, and then clock out at whatever time I'm supposed to clock out and go about my day. At night. So that's how, just making sure that just making sure you see yourself when you go into that place, making sure that they understand that you understand who you are without it affecting anybody else in a respected work environment.
Right. Okay. Yeah. She said she on the committee at work. That's why she was asking.
Okay.
She need a little insight, she said.
Yeah. Making sure that you have human interactions, making sure that if any space that you're in, see the humanness of that interaction or that response, making sure you provide all the proper resources without any internal bias, or holding grudges or anything like that, or wanting up somebody, making sure that lead that at the door. Yes. And if not at the door, have the proper way to communicate, because that's the thing that which holds our community back so much, is that, and I'm only speaking from the Black space, I don't know about anybody else. From the Black space, is that we sometimes don't have the proper ways of communication.
Yes.
We hold it and we let it linger. We don't nip it in the bud. We don't get straight to it. We don't, and in a respectful way, we don't know how to do those type of things on every level. And I think that's also a task for us to start getting at, to understand us more and more.
That's huge right there. Communication in the workplace for the Black workers.
And overall.
Overall, yes, but it needs to start with us because we do need to know how to communicate.
No, most definitely.
Because a lot of us don't know how to communicate in our everyday lives, in our personal relationships. So how are we going to know how to communicate in the workplace? But anyway, y'all know I'm always taking it there. I be trying to, girl. But so, what she say? Sadly, some were not taught how to, and that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
A lot of us don't know how to communicate effectively, but there are a lot of classes, there are a lot of workshops, there are a lot of things you can do to enhance your communication. So it's up to you to build on you. It's up to you to grow more. It's up to you to want to evolve. Look, it's up to you. It's your responsibility, not nobody else's. So if we don't take responsibility, if we don't hold ourselves accountable at the end of the day, I don't know what you're doing because you ain't doing nothing right. Look,
you wasting your time
and somebody else's too. Probably.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not gonna say mine, but it might be somebody else's.
Yeah.
All right, the last couple things, and I know I don't even want to wrap it up, but Trans Life had a lot. We had a lot going on. I guess we'll hit a little bit on trans love. You got some love going on. You got a special love interest out there.
Well, once again, love starts from yourself. So loving on yourself, that has been the greatest assignment for me. Okay. Is that making sure that my love is so palpable. I love on everybody because I realize that I realize that God has granted me the gift to be attractive to all people.
Yes.
And I used to have an issue with that because I would be ready to fight because I was always like, why are they looking at me? Why is it? Because I still, at that point in time, I wasn't fully aware of myself and my being and my light. And so when people would look at me, children, adults, young, like I'd be like, what's up? What you want to do? But then I was like, girl, you'll be fine. Calm down. Calm down.
Right.
I would be fighting. I literally would have to be fighting
everybody
every day, all time of day. Right. And when it dropped down to me, God gave it to me. It was like, just look, just take a weekend look. And the way children, I could be minding my business in the supermarket, walking out, little babies, all they just turn and just be, and at first I'd be like, oh God, they see me, they know who, oh Lord, oh God. And then
now what you doing? Hey, look, how you doing? Look, you so pretty.
You know
what? You just killed me with that. But that's what we do.
That's what we do.
Because when another child of another race looks at me, because of course, because I'm a dark woman,
dark, beautiful woman.
Like this, thank you. Have my hair, they be looking like they ain't never seen a dark,
and they probably haven't,
and they might not have. And then I'm like, "Hi, you so pretty, hello."
And I had to realize that it's because of what I bring. It's because of my existence. It's because of what they see from the inside. Yes. I know all that true now because I always tell my friends in my circle, I could be chilling in the cut in the corner, and some kind of way I'm gonna have an interaction with a new person because I'm supposed to have that. I'm supposed to be, when I'm in a supermarket, when I'm all those spaces, like, all that.
Sharon,
how you doing? Like, hello, yes. And so I just learned that love starts from within me. I'm always open to the possibilities. We do know that the interactions for some, I make an statement for me, my career and my work and my things that empower me comes first. Right. My dreams have never let me down, even though it is a process. I put my energy towards that. Anything extra is lanyard. Lanyard from the South means extra, a little extra. Right. But I'm always open to someone saying they want to see me, but I do know that being a proud Black trans woman, sometimes those people those men cannot take on. They have their things dealing with society that they sometimes cannot easily adjust with something that they like, something that they love, because they know society will tell them, you're not supposed to be doing that. Oh no,
Right.
so is you gay? Or is you? And it's like, well, you have to learn your manhood, your masculinity, your identity before you then come to me, something that you love and like possibly, and then start projecting your stuff that you haven't worked on onto me to try to reduce me.
Right.
That's not gonna work for me. So I always make sure that that person, that man that says that they want to show up for me, they have to go through a certain checklist to make sure that I'm comfortable, make sure that I feel safe. And that's the process with that in regards to love. I'm always open to it. I know there is somebody out there for me because I'm doing the work for me to show up for my full self. And I know that person is showing up and doing the work for their full selves. And so whenever that happens, we're going to meet and we're going to do what we do.
Yes. And I love that you are aware that you put a lot of time and energy into your career. So that's why it is successful. You know that. And right now, like you said, you haven't found anyone that you really want to put that time and energy into. But I am happy that you know that when that time comes, that's something you have to do. Because that's something that I had to learn just as a Black woman. And as a Black woman, you as a Black woman, once again, you spoke to that. Sometimes we will go hard for, our careers and our money, and we have to get established. And speaking for myself, we may fall short in the relationship area and not really see that we're doing so because we're so focused and on this other path. So when that time does come, when that person does show up, because he will, you just be cognizant and give yourself grace and know that it's now time to kind of shift and balance that attention so you can put it into your cultivating that relationship.
And then also based for me, also I've taken into consideration of that, if my life consists of this experience so far, I am grateful and thankful.
Yes.
I have a community and a tribe and a people that we show up for each other.
Definitely.
And so if it is my life that I don't have those lived experiences in that capacity, I am okay with that.
Yes.
But
that's another Black woman thing, because girl, a lot of us, because I say that too. If I end up being single forever, I'm okay with that because I know that I'm staying true to who I am as a person. I'm trying to wait for that individual that's going to respect me fully. And yes, okay, you might date, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to fully put anything into anybody that's not putting their time and attention. And that's something that I think as Black women, we've lacked for a lot of years because we saw our grandmothers, our great grandmothers staying in these unhealthy relationships because
they had no choice.
Exactly. Or just because they got married at a young age, or because they were taught that that's what they have
to do.
And so we feel bad for not doing that. And so now we're single for all these years and trying to revamp that vision that everyone has had. So yeah, it's just crazy, but we all experience the same things. There is somebody out there for us. And like you said, and if there's not, because people find love at 70, 80. You just never know.
And you get to that space to where you don't, that's not so that's the other thing for me is that that's not the center.
Exactly. And I do know that as well. But we always have to ask about it because it is love out there. I always want to make sure that because I still do believe in love.
Yes.
I feel like I ain't found it yet.
I always say that I'm a hopeful romantic.
There you go.
Because I had to change it. I was like, I'm a hopeless, it's like, no, I don't want to be hopeless.
No, you don't want to be hopeless.
I want to be hopeful
that
I'm bringing whatever I'm doing to work internally and externally, that other person is doing the same thing.
Right.
And so I think years before I had to switch that in my head of like, because I always would say sometimes, I'm a hopeless romantic child. Like, baby, I'm going to always fall in love. And even in saying that, the connotation and the vibe of it was lowering myself.
Yes.
But if I say, no, child, I'm a hopeful romantic. I'm doing the work internally so that when that person comes in my existence, I'm already going to know, we good soil. Let's grow together.
Exactly.
And so that's the shift.
Yes, yes, we good soil. Let's grow together. I might have to pull that on
Yeah,
somebody.
it's yours.
That line in the club. No,
It's yours.
we good soil. Let's grow together.
Let's grow together. And always letting them lead. That's the other thing too. Of like we're such well, I am such. I want to put everybody in this space, but I do believe you are too. We're such powerful women. Is that in that space? I want to be soft. I don't want to. I want you whatever because I don't. What I've learned in my lived experience with men is that you can't teach them or tell them anything.
You can't.
You can give them the space to grow on their own.
Right.
But you can't really negate them how they should show up. Yes. It's once again the intent. Or if they see something in you and they want to try you out and figure you out and want to grow with you, then show up for me, daddy. Right. And the daddy, not in a way of like sexualized, but show up for me.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Show up for me. Tell me, oh, you want to see me? Where we going? I'll make my schedule is clear. That's why I always leave because my schedule is packed. No, so if I make time for you, you got to make time for me. Show up.
Exactly. I know. Woo, Lord. So we didn't talk about a lot this morning. I want to leave it with leadership. You are a natural born leader. You have spoke to it this entire conversation. I would like you. Hold on, Sharonda. Look at you still. Which people do not understand how spiritual and supportive the trans community is and are loving, accepting people. Thank you for today, ladies. Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming as always. Yes. I appreciate you.
Love and
as I always tell you guys, this is a space that I think no one has, because I'm trying to highlight things, first of all, that we don't talk about in the Black and brown communities.
Yes.
Ever. Because we shy away from a lot of these things. And I'm trying to normalize all of these conversations, whether it be mental health, whether it be the LGBTQ community, whether it be relationships, generational curses, all of these things that we have talked about on the show are issues that we try to hide, that we really need to highlight so we can change, so we can grow, so we can be better as a people, as a community. And so I really appreciate when you guys get on here, you engage with my guests. Of course, I always appreciate my amazing guests. You guys are all always amazing. I'm going to say that for forever because I believe in you. That's why you want me.
Yes. Okay.
You got something to bring to the everybody, to the world.
Yes.
And I want to make sure that we bring it. We want to end with your leadership, like I said. And I know that there are probably a lot of young ladies that need to hear something inspiring from you that, oh, did I? I'm sorry. Y'all, he said, I said, you guys. See? Look, we got the audience check. That's right. Get me right, Sharon.
Accountability.
Exactly. And I do hold myself accountable.
Yes.
You are.
That's what's up. Yes.
Let me rephrase that.
And it's a process.
It is a process.
What I say for leadership is that, once again, I've been saying this the whole time, that it starts with you.
Yes.
Who are you? Sit with yourself and figure out who are you? What makes you tick? How is your leadership process? How do you communicate? All these things that we all need to know whenever we go, because you could lead one person or two people. You're still in leadership. You could lead 1,500 people. You're still in leadership, but that's a more expansive way. And so once again, going and doing the internal work can lead you externally to many places that you're supposed to lead in, because you now know that you can go. I wouldn't even say, I would say a chameleon, but not in that way. So where you have to adapt to everything, but anything that comes your way, you know how to adapt and you know how to move around. And so that's the beauty of being a natural leader or a built leader, depending on who is teaching you and depending on how you open yourself to take in that information. And so I would always say, first and foremost, know who you are. Once you know who you are, you can lead anybody because you know who you are, you know your communication skills, you know all those type of things.
Definitely. If you guys want to hit up Nina, If you want to talk to her, pick her brain. If you want to support her, because definitely she's doing great things out in the community.
Yes.
This is her Instagram. Go ahead.
Yes, my Instagram is Never Ending Nina Notes. Also, Never Ending Nina on all social media platforms. Just released my EP that's available on anywhere you stream and download music videos, all on YouTube, Never Ending Nina. And you can find me in your local stratosphere, international stratosphere, national stratosphere, as I continue to rise and do the things that I'm supposed to do in my dream process.
Yes, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Yes. Thank you. You know, I'm gonna ask. I don't know if you're gonna want to do it. You want to hit a little note for us or something before we leave? We got like a minute.
Well, you know, I always live in encouragement. I say, when I look at you, and the world is all right with me. Oh, just one look at you. And I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
You better, you know, you be giving me chills. Ooh, come on now. Y'all heard it. Look, y'all hear that power, that voice. Don't even, girl, you be giving me chills. Oh my gosh. Look, I know. Did you hear the run, Sharon? Okay. I'm just saying, keep being beautiful. Both of y'all enjoyed the conversation. Thank you, yo. Sharon once again said, come on with the runs, that voice. I'm telling you, girl. look, I can't even say nothing. Man. Woo. All right, y'all know what it is. Thank you for joining She Who Found Her Purpose today. If you guys want to be on the show, if you have any ideas for the show, make sure you put it in my inbox at shewhofoundherpurpose@gmail.com. You can also DM me either on Instagram, Facebook, hit me up on YouTube. I'm on all those social media platforms. Make sure you follow, like, and share She Who Found Her Purpose. Y'all get into these real conversations. We need to normalize all of these conversations because we are all humans. We're all great people, and we all have amazing things to bring to the table. So once again, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. It's Juneteenth this weekend. Go out there and celebrate.
Support Black businesses.
Yes. If you're Black, celebrate your Blackness. If you're not Black, celebrate our Blackness. No, you know what I'm saying? But for real though, celebrate. I want to thank you again, Nina, for joining me today. You know, I really appreciate you.
I love you.
You are amazing. I love you too. And you know I'm gonna be talking to you. You already know.
Of course.
All right. Thank you guys, everyone. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place on She Who Found Her Purpose.
Bye, everybody. Love you.